Hey YouTube, it's ICU and welcome to the 199th episode of Best Tech Info and Rumors. Alright, and to start off, I just want to say that I'm going to be discussing jailbreaking as well as Apple's upcoming iOS 7.1.3 firmware more toward the end of this episode. So if you're interested in that, there should be an annotation on the screen now. It should be somewhere around here to actually fast forward to that segment. And then at the end of that segment, there will also be another annotation to come back here where you left off before you actually click the annotation to fast forward. So again, if you're interested in jailbreaking, just be sure to click the annotation and then you can come back here to where you left off. Now, with that said, I am going to say one thing about jailbreaking first. I did create a video earlier this week discussing 10 of my favorite tweaks available inside of Cydia. For those of you who don't know, you essentially get Cydia when you jailbreak because it enables root access, and for the everyday user, Cydia is available to actually handle the installation of various packages and tweaks. Now, a lot of people, once jailbroken, don't understand what to do or what to actually get from Cydia, and in light of that fact, I created a video, again earlier this week, that highlights 10 of my favorite tweaks that are compatible with iOS 7.1 up until Apple's latest public firmware at the time of recording this video being 7.1.2 and the Pangu jailbreak. Also, keep in mind when watching that video, I value speed, efficiency, and functionality above all else, so there aren't many tweaks in the way of visual enhancements. There is, however, Springtomize 3, which is great. It's actually one of my favorite tweaks, and just be sure to watch that video to find out more and to learn more on the various tweaks that I have installed on my iPhone 5S and use on a daily basis. Now, moving on, let's talk about Apple's upcoming iPhone 6. So, with the excitement amongst Apple fanatics continuing to build, in anticipation of the company's upcoming iPhone 6, those expecting a 5.5-inch model may be in for a world of disappointment. While it was previously thought that Apple would release two primary iPhone 6 variations, one with a 4.7-inch display and the other with a 5.5-inch display, a new report from MacRumors that cites analyst Ming-Chi Kuo may suggest otherwise, at least for the foreseeable future. And while I tend to avoid putting too much stock into what analysts say for the sole reason that they're usually wrong as often as they're right, this one happened to catch my attention, primarily because it matches up with the recent iPhone 6 related leaks we've seen, suggesting that there may be numerous production issues with the 5.5-inch iPhone 6, including complications with insensitivity on the edges of the larger display panels and, quote, color unevenness for the, quote, metal casing. The analyst in question believes that the iPhone 6's larger counterpart could be delayed, and in a whirlwind of recent iPhone 6 rumors and news, numerous contradictory reports have been made regarding the device's upcoming release date. While it would certainly be a logical move for Apple to release both iPhone 6 size variations, being the rumored 4.7-inch and 5.5-inch devices simultaneously, it's far too early to definitively state the company's plans for their next generation iPhone. And actually, speaking of contradictory reports, a new one was published recently by Reuters, which suggests that the 4.7-inch variation iPhone 6 will go into production this month, so later this July, with its 5.5-inch counterpart reportedly scheduled to enter mass production sometime in August. So as of now, keep in mind this is very important. Nothing related to the upcoming iPhone 6 is confirmed, and at this point, absolutely everything can change until Apple officially announces the device on stage later this year, likely in the fall. And with that said, let's transition into iOS 8, Apple's next major installment to their mobile operating system. We did recently see iOS 8 Beta 3 seeded to developers. In last week's episode of Best Tech Info and Rumors, I discussed that matter as well as a video that I created that demonstrates how it's theoretically possible to upgrade to iOS 8 Beta 3 on a device that's UDID isn't officially registered through an Apple developer account. Well, interestingly, in a new report, BGR shared their speculation regarding iOS 8's release date, at least for the 4th beta iteration. They claim that Apple may be planning to release the firmware to registered iOS developers on Monday, July 21st. That's this coming Monday in just a couple of days. And it took Apple 3 weeks to go from the 2nd beta iteration to the 3rd beta iteration of iOS 8. So we won't actually know if this report pans out until Monday, but just be sure to stay tuned here on my YouTube channel as well as Best Tech Info. I'll keep you guys fully covered, and the same thing goes for the iPhone 6. I'll provide you guys with the latest in regards to leaks, rumors, and reports concerning the upcoming device. And now moving on, let's discuss jailbreaking. So yes, the untethered iOS 7.1.x jailbreak. For those of you who aren't familiar, earlier a team by the name of Pangu released a utility called Pangu to jailbreak iOS 7.1.x. Now, following Pangu's grand introduction into the world of jailbreaking, Apple issued iOS 7.1.2 to the general public and seemingly neglected to patch the vulnerabilities Pangu exploited, allowing the utility to fully jailbreak 7.1.2 untethered. Now, referencing a couple of articles from Evasion Jailbreak, which I'll actually have linked to below, I wanted to discuss jailbreaking Pangu in general, as well as Apple's upcoming iOS 7.1.3 firmware and why the company has yet to patch the Pangu jailbreak, as they so easily could have with the release of iOS 7.1.2. So with Apple's 7.1.3 firmware imminent, as I mentioned in the last episode of BestTechInfo and Rumors, the company will certainly patch the untethered Pangu utility this time, preventing it from further functioning on and jailbreaking 7.1.3. However, as I mentioned before, Apple could easily have patched Pangu in iOS 7.1.2, as they've been quick to patch previous jailbreak utilities in years past. So why didn't they? It might not even have been neglect at all on Apple's end. It seems as though it could be a new tactic in Apple's arsenal of new jailbreak mitigation procedures. So similar to the original iOS 7.0 through 7.0.6 Evasion 7 jailbreak, Apple released both 7.0.5 for iPhones outside of the US and 7.0.6. Now, both of these firmwares easily could have patched the jailbreak, but failed to. And it's possible that Apple's prolonged patching of Evasion was by design. So what do I mean by that? Well, essentially in iOS 7.0.x, it's been reported by a countless number of iOS users that resprings and random crashes plague the devices, and that's not counting frequent app crashes either. Now, after leaving the jailbreak unpatched for some time, Apple issued iOS 7.1 to the public, which not only closed the vulnerabilities used by Evasion, but also conveniently corrected nearly all of the aforementioned issues. So why wouldn't Apple patch jailbreak utilities sooner if they were aware of not only the utility's existence, but also the bugs and various complications that numerous users were experiencing? The answer could very well be as simple as Apple actually likes part of jailbreaking. It's possible that they're in favor of users who love to jailbreak, and a number of said users only purchase devices knowing they can eventually be jailbroken. However, they simultaneously disdain the process because not only does it open their quote walled garden ecosystem, but it also has the potential to leave their system vulnerable, which is something Apple is certainly against. Because let me just tell you from my personal experience, if Apple feels threatened by a jailbreak, they'll patch it almost immediately. Looking back to the days of Jailbreak Me, which is actually a web-based jailbreak solution that functioned thanks to PDF and userland-based exploits that left iOS incredibly vulnerable, they wasted no time in issuing an updated version of iOS to patch the jailbreak. And without reading too much into this theory, I'm going to say that Apple could be using jailbreakers' own weapon against them: bugs. Nothing too substantial, however, just things that are minor annoyances. So looking back at 7.0.x, again, there were frequent crashes. Moreover, both iOS 7.1 and 7.1.1 remained seemingly bug-free until Pangu and iOS 7.1.2 were released. So seeing as Apple could have a complicated outlook on jailbreaking, as mentioned previously, it certainly seems as though, at least from the outside, that Apple is giving jailbreakers exactly what they want: room to jailbreak. However, only on Apple's terms. And now, unlike years past, users may have to pick between a jailbreak on a firmware that has minor annoying bugs or an apparently stable firmware without a jailbreak. And as for the latest 7.1.2 firmware itself, some users are experiencing complications with unnecessary battery drain, as well as a peculiar spinning wheel on the springboard, even without anything open. So really quick, just to summarize, while the issues Apple may intentionally leave in jailbreakable iterations of iOS are certainly annoying, if they're even noticed by the end user, that is, they make updating more of an incentive than a necessity, likely to appeal to jailbreakers who encounter said issues and encourage them to update. And that's just one possibility for how Apple may plan to deal with jailbreaking in the future. And with iOS 7.1.3, the upcoming iteration of 7.1.x will likely fix the issues some users are experiencing on 7.1.2. However, if you're jailbroken, of course, avoid 7.1.3 at all costs. So just be sure to keep that in mind. I will also provide you guys with additional coverage on 7.1.3 once it's released, and I will confirm how that firmware affects jailbreaking once it's released. All right, and that's everything I wanted to talk about related to jailbreaking. And if you happen to actually skip ahead to this segment, there will actually be an annotation on the screen now to go back more toward the beginning of this video. And also to conclude, I just wanted to mention really quick, for those of you who are interested in gaming, Destiny, Bungie's next upcoming highly anticipated title, went into beta, at least for PlayStation 4 owners. And to actually get into the beta, it's extremely easy. All you have to do is actually pre-order the game. Xbox One owners who've already pre-ordered or who plan on pre-ordering will actually get to join in on the beta experience soon, but for now it's exclusive to the PlayStation 4. So just keep that in mind. I've had some time to test out Destiny. It seems pretty good so far. I've only been able to play through the first mission though. Alright, and also with that said, if you guys are interested in earning paid apps from Apple's App Store for free while simultaneously supporting the developers of said apps, just be sure to visit bit.ly/getfreeapplife or freeapplife.com inside of Safari. Once downloaded, install sponsored apps for points, redeem points for prizes such as paid application codes from Apple's App Store, gift cards, and bigger electronic devices. Alright, and also on Free App Life, I just wanted to briefly say that we are working very hard to get everything functioning the way it should and weed out sponsors that don't pay out points properly. Alright, and that's it for this episode. If you guys like this video and you're interested in earning an Amazon gift card, just be sure to rate it up and leave a relevant comment down below in the comment section. Once your comment's been posted, you'll be automatically entered to win. And if you don't know what to leave in the comment section, try answering the question of the day. And for this video, it's going to be related to the iPhone 6. So what do you guys actually think about a 5.5-inch iPhone 6? What are your opinions? And would you actually prefer a 4.7-inch or even a smaller iPhone? Again, just be sure to let me know in the comment section or on Best Tech Info. And if you guys want to be updated more often, such as when I release new videos and cover various things like jailbreak and iPhone related topics, again, just be sure to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, add me to one of your circles inside of Google+, follow me on Instagram at ICUID, and subscribe to my secondary channel, youtube.com/ICUID. And until next time, this is ICU signing out.